hearts to welcoming something that is beyond our own mind's limitations, right? And so would you be willing to open up your mind to go beyond your limitations?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask because sometimes, right? And this is so beautiful and perfect as we're here on Easter Sunday together. Because Easter is, in the Christian tradition, it's such an important day of recognizing the rebirth of Jesus Christ, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, that which was dead, that which symbolizes eternal life. It also is a time of the spring equinox. And actually, the early Christians chose to have this holiday at the spring equinox because the religion of the day was so prevalent with the goddess worship, and the goddess Esther, I'm saying Estrogen, get it? Estra. The goddess of fertility. Okay, so spring worship was always about fertility and new birth. Okay, and so that's why we have the Easter eggs, right? Oh, yeah. So the Easter eggs and the fertility and this resurrection and the new birth, no matter how we look at it and where our background comes from, I think we can all agree that there is something that calls us in springtime to a rebirth. And it's important in our own personal evolution and our own growth that we make space and we become comfortable with our own Easters. Because have you ever noticed when you try to keep something the same, it hurts? If it's supposed to change, if it's supposed to move and evolve, and we try to keep it the same, it shifts. So many of you know, it was just, really less than 1 month ago when I was on the stage at the Soul Center talking about, our ability to let go, right? Our ability to let go. That the Dalai Lama says three things to learn in life is how to be a master, how to live and how to love and how to let go, right? That we need to learn how to let go, and it's not always easy to let go. And so is it all right if I just a little bit of my journey with this transition, since most of you were there? And it was something we all shared together. It was a moment where in my own growth, where I said, this is not fit for me. This is not me. This is not working for me. Not that I don't love everybody, but something in me knew that I felt like, it was like that bird. I couldn't get out. Like something, I'm a visionary leader, I just have to be free. I just do. I can't, it's a curse, I know. So I had to follow that voice, and at the very same time knowing that a lot of people would be hurt in the process. Right? That hurt me, knowing, oh my gosh, this is going to upset everybody's apple cart. Everybody's apple cart is going to be upset if I choose my own authentic path. Right? Now, don't you have that? Yeah. You never had that in your life, right? Yeah. But you knew you had to follow what was calling you to go. And the other part of this story, when we are called to this kind of thing, unfortunately, you're not really given the roadmap. And unfortunately, most of the time, you don't know what's going to happen on the other end. Like I'm saying, why do you do this? Like life, okay? Why can't you just give me the whole plan? It'd be a lot easier to just move forward if I knew the whole plan in advance, right? It'd be way easier, and maybe you're different, but in my life, it hasn't been that way. I had to learn to just take a step and to follow the inner call and follow the inner voice and follow, that the path would always lead us to greater and greater authenticity. That our own spiritual path, and yours is different, everybody's different, must lead us to our own authenticity. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
It must lead us to our own authenticity. That's how you know it's your path. Because you become more of who you are. You become more of who you are. And so how wonderful it is that we can know that every time that we make a choice to become more of who we are, that the path will be revealed along the way. So I want us to see this so that we all gain greater faith when it's our turn It's your turn to step out into the void and not know what's going to be there, knowing that as you continue to walk in that direction, that the path will be there for you to support you, right? And so it was less than a month ago when we said goodbye at the Soul Center. Now, I had no plan for this. There was not a plan for this. In fact, I said, forget it, no more. None of this. I was not meant for this, evidently. One week later. Of course, miracles always happen after a day at the spa. I'm just saying. Write that down in our own Bible of rules and regulations. One must go to the spa every month for their own personal evolution and growth. Just saying. But anyway, there was a bunch of y'all that said, well, let's get together and meditate. I'm like, yeah, let's get together and meditate because, you know, you're our person, I'm your person, you're my person, and I don't care if we go to the park. Let's go to the park and meditate because that's the way we like to meditate, and then we can talk about spiritual things, and it's very cool. So we said, okay, let's you know, I said I could take a Sunday off and go to the spa, and then let's go ahead and go to meditate. By the time we had that meeting to meditate, which was exactly 2 weeks ago today, we didn't just get together to meditate, we got together to vision because it had already got into place. So what happened was, the Oneness Center, 9 years ago, a few months before 9 years ago, I was having people over to my house to meditate. You know what happens when you meditate together? Freaking awesome things happen when you meditate together. And we were in my living room meditating together, and I had been in ministry. I had built a big church, and then I had gotten out of building big churches because it's a little much sometimes. So Janette was there, and she came over, and we'd do the Oneness blessing because I'd been to India and became a Oneness blessing giver, and so I was just given the blessing, and we'd meditate and have the blessing, and they kept saying, we gotta start a church, we gotta start a church, we gotta start. I said, no, we're not starting a church. And then one day, Spirit said, now. That's all, now. I said, let's get together now. Spirit says now, so let's vision and see what Spirit wants to create. So we got together and we visioned and we began to feel and see this vision that Spirit wanted to create. And in 8 weeks, we got a name, and it was to be called the Oneness Center. And it was just to be a sacred space where people could be together and to hold sacred the space that we might meditate together and be inspired together and be in community together, and that we might evolve and spiritually awaken. Within 8 weeks, everybody gave us money. We had a whole building. We had it completely furnished. It was gorgeous. And 8 weeks on Sunday service, on Easter Sunday, we had our first service. And everybody knew the Oneness Center is this beautiful place. And do you know why it worked? Because it was grace. So the energy of the Oneness Center is and was grace. It was about surrendering to grace. Now, grace is the infinite givingness of the Spirit, which gives freely when we get out of the way and release. And the energy of the Oneness Center was non-effort, ease, grace. And that through meditation and through aligning in a higher vibration, that's the way life's supposed to be. It's when we're in resistance to that higher vibration that we struggle. And so the energy of the Oneness Center was to completely remind us to relax, let go, allow the grace of Spirit to unfold and to blossom and to do this work. Let's get in the river of grace. Doesn't that sound nice? Yeah. So this year, whenever I thought of the Oneness Center, I started to have this feeling. A couple people I talked to before, I was like, I feel like the Oneness Center should be down here or something. About 2 or 3 days, it was on a Monday before we met, and I talked to my friend who has the Oneness Center in Fresno. So Oneness Center's in Fresno, but it's kind of dormant as an organization, and they're doing some teaching. She's a dear friend of mine, and I says, what do you think about creating a new center in Orange County? And I align with you and we figure it out. She's loved the idea. Finally on that Monday, I said yes. I called, I said, I think we should do it. The very next day I walked in here. It was like, okay, as soon as lining up with the right energy, when we line up with the right energy, like Spirit just opened the doors. And when I walked in here, it was like, we don't even need to do anything. We just come in and set some chairs up. We don't have to have all this money. We can just come in and meditate together and be together. And let Spirit let us stand in that energy of ease and grace and allow what wants to unfold. And as I watched, as we got together, I was so impressed and amazed at this community of geniuses. Like everything, this community put together. We've got lawyers that put the whole corporate, in 2 weeks, the whole lawyers put the corporate thing together. You know, we got the whole Sunday school program because that was so important to create a Sunday school and get the kids on board. We got the marketing team that's already got a website up and everything got the whole marketing thing going on, right? We've got the business, we've got the controller, we've got the finances, we've got the bank account. In 2 weeks, everything has come together in a miraculous way because of the community. Not because of me. I just been going to the spa. Went twice this week. I just follow how I'm called to do it, you know. Now, why? How can we integrate this in our life? This is Easter. This is the time for our own rebirth. Everybody wants something, right? I want something. Everybody wants something. Everybody wants, in our own evolution, wants greater peace, greater abundance, greater life energy. We all want something. And let's face it, we all want it with ease and grace. Right? I saw your face when I said, you know, the Oneness Center OC, it's about ease and grace. Everybody, all you guys went, oh, thank God. Right? Like, oh my gosh, you're going to ask me to volunteer at this church, you're going to make me do this, and it's a struggle, life is, no. How about if we just say, let's let it be easy and let's be simple. Let's let life be simple. So in your own life, right, in all of our own lives, something in us wants life to be simple. And couple of things that I've learned in my life is that life is simple when I'm flowing in the right river. Right? Yes. Life is much simpler when I've gotten on the right river. It's my river. Okay? The river of grace. The river of grace. And the river of grace is accessed in higher centers of consciousness. Okay? That's the class, right? You don't get that stuff here at Sunday. You have to come to a class. The workshops to get that stuff. That's the juice, man. You know, it takes a little longer, that's all. But here's a little bit of a teaching. And then we'll need to wind it up. But oneness. What does oneness mean, right? So oneness, we're looking at who are we? What is going to want to evolve? This may be a process that we're all going to be participating in as a collective idea. This work no longer is about one person holding the vision and going forward. This is about what wants to come up out of the collective consciousness of those that are evolving spiritually, growing and asking for what wants to happen. And how may I be the one that can come through? So collective visioning is a way where much, much more can be done to evolve and to grow and to bring more happiness and peace and joy and all those things that we innately know are part of what we should be and we want to be experiencing. We're here to bring heaven on earth, yes? So collectively, this work is about collectively, in oneness, collectively pulling out and becoming more. So this idea of oneness, like everyone's, well, oneness, I'm just being one. What the heck is one? I'm being one. Oneness is a spiritual idea, okay? Oneness is a spiritual idea that's the framework of really a cosmology that we stand on, is that there's one infinite life that is the heartbeat and the source that created all life. So some may call it God. Universal mind, higher mind, infinite love. And the qualities of this are infinite love and infinite intelligence and spirit. And there's no place where it is not. And it constantly seeks to create and express itself. And we are a part of it. Like we couldn't be separate from this life. We could not be separate from this life. We're part of this infinite intelligence. And as human beings, we have been asleep to our unity with this life. We have been asleep. We forgot. We believe the illusion of the material world, right? We believe it. We think it's so true. We live out drama. We live in drama. Look at your neighbor and says, quit living in drama, for heaven's sakes. We live in drama. That drama's fun, okay? I'm drama, okay? I like drama. But I don't want to believe it. I just want to play in it, right? And so we're waking up to realize that hey, I'm waking up. So spiritual awakening is where we begin to wake up that I'm not separate from this life, and this life is moving through me. Now, we're not waking ourselves up, because Spirit grace is knocking on your door and waking you up, but we also have to learn to make wise decisions of choice, and we have to learn to be masters of the mental and the emotional realm that we might access the spiritual realm.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so that's where our path, that's where our process comes in of our learning, is how we can be more masters of our mental world. Because if we're using our mental world and we're thinking and we're so interested in the past and what's not working, then we're not going to be able to allow a greater awakening and a greater unfoldment of what this one life wants to operate and give through us, right?
Right.
So we begin to learn to use our mental world and our emotional world in a way that opens us up, and spiritually we're actually transformed, that we can see. So the two things I want us to take home and look at is, what are we interested in? Okay? We are either interested in, on a daily basis, what wants to die or what wants to be given birth. About it. Does your worry, anxiety, stress, money problems, relationship problems dominate your interest? What do we think about? If that which wants to die, let's say lack and anxiety and stress wants to die, why are we so interested in it? Why are we so interested in that which wants to die? Instead, what if we became fascinated and interested with what wants to be birthed, with what wants to come forth? And this is the point. If we're one with the universal spirit, which is all intelligence, all abundance, all life, if we're one with that and we're waking up to that oneness, if we're one with that, how about we get interested in that?
Yeah.
How about we get interested and curious about, what does abundance feel like? What does love feel like? What does passion feel like? What does abundance in money feel like? What does joy feel like? How about we become fascinated and interested in what wants to be birthed and given form to?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to be interested in that. I'm no longer interested in the past. I'm interested in moving forward. In greater life energy. In greater abundance. In greater love. And greater massages. So I think we're all in alignment, right? Everybody turn to your neighbor and rub their shoulders. Okay, stop it. So,
I'm all for that. I know, totally.
So as we leave here today, my little interest is that we hang around for half an hour and talk to each other, and maybe have a question about, what are you birthing? Or what do you want to be interested in? Or what did you get out of the message? And get a cup of coffee. And there's like all these little cuddle rooms. Have you seen them? I mean, living rooms. Like, there's these cute little nicks and crannies, and we can be here, like till 12 if you can, and hang out and make a friend and have conversation about meaningful things, because that's what community is. Community means that when I'm together with others in a high-level conversation, then that penetrates my life, and it penetrates their life, and it transforms the world, right? I want to do that. I love being here. I love you, Rev. I love you too. All right, so okay. I always have a hard time with these closings. Could you guys give me some ideas? Like, think about that this week, how I can close in a more dramatic way, okay? Work on that for me. Okay, work on my closing.
Drop
would
the
you?
mic.
All right. Okay, so, thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. And so it is. You guys are amazing creators with amazing things. So we invite you to hang around. We're going to participate. I'm excited to bring our beautiful Oneness Kirtan band up here. We're going to bring our ushers up as we're going to prepare for our offering. We give thanks for your gifts. You can write the checks to Oneness Center, OC. We will have online giving later. We thank you as we prepare and create something together. And thank you so much for your support. But we remember that all support comes from the one that lives in us. As we give back to a spiritual idea, we're really giving back to that presence within, saying, this is important to me. This is of value to me. And as we give a portion of our good where we value, that comes back to us, providing back that which we value. So easy, so beautiful, so simple. So we just give thanks for all the good that we are blessed with, all that we are blessed to be able to share, knowing that it circulates back to us in so many wonderful ways. And we are so grateful. Thank you. And so it is. So it is.